When my ex-husband walked away with our savings, my sister called me bitter. When she handed him the keys to his new life, she called it staying neutral. But when she showed up on my doorstep with her 3 kids and all their luggage, expecting to take over my home rent-free while still secretly hosting my ex for family dinners behind my back, she called it family helping family. Everyone in my family thought I was a pushover who would just swallow the disrespect to keep the peace. They watched me quietly pack a small bag, hand her the spare keys, and walk away without screaming. My sister smiled, thinking she had finally stripped away the last piece of my dignity. What she didn't know was the trap she had just walked into. Welcome back to BT Revenge Tales, where betrayal meets its match. Be sure to stay until the very end and comment below with the city you're watching from. My name is Evelyn. At 32 years old, I thought I knew what rock bottom felt like when my ex-husband, Greg, drained our joint accounts and vanished into the arms of his new girlfriend. But real heartbreak didn't come from Greg. It came from my own blood. The moment the divorce papers were served, my younger sister, Megan, didn't offer a shoulder to cry on. Instead, she took Greg's side, publicly claiming I was too demanding and that Greg deserved a fresh start. She even invited him to family dinners while excluding me. I swallowed the humiliation and threw myself into work, determined to protect the only thing I'd left, my 4-bedroom suburban home, which my grandmother had deeded solely to me years ago. Then came a rainy Tuesday evening. The doorbell rang violently, followed by loud pounding. When I opened the door, there stood Megan, surrounded by mountains of suitcases, cardboard boxes, and her 3 chaotic children. She shoved past me into the foyer without waiting for an invitation. Our landlord kicked us out, Megan announced coldly, dropping her wet bags directly onto my hardwood floor. We're taking the master bedroom. You have plenty of space, and family doesn't turn family away. Before I could even process her audacity, Megan was already ordering her kids to drag their dirty bags up the stairs. Within 48 hours, she had completely taken over. She treated my home like her personal kingdom, rearranging my furniture and demanding that I cook dinner for her family after working 12-hour shifts. The breaking point arrived on Friday evening. I came home early from work to find Greg's car parked brazenly in my driveway. Peering through the dining room window, I saw Megan clinking wine glasses with the man who had stolen my life savings. They were laughing about how easy it had been to push me into a corner. My hands trembled with fury, but I forced myself to stay calm. Confronting them would only give them the drama they craved. Instead, I walked in with a defeated look on my face and told Megan I needed space. I offered her a standard house-sitting permission slip to temporarily manage the property while I stayed at a hotel. She signed it eagerly without reading a single word, smirking as I packed one suitcase and quietly walked out into the dark. The moment my car cleared the driveway, the tears vanished. I wasn't driving to a dingy hotel. I drove straight to the downtown office of Arthur Vance, a ruthless real estate attorney I'd retained 2 weeks earlier. The truth was, I had seen Megan's entitlement coming from miles away. The day after she publicly sided with Greg, I quietly listed the house off-market with an aggressive commercial redevelopment firm specializing in fast cash acquisitions. Arthur greeted me with a thin, knowing smile as I handed over the paperwork Megan had just scribbled her name on. That harmless-looking permission slip wasn't a standard house-sitting form. It was a legally binding short-term guest waiver, explicitly forfeiting any claims to tenant rights, squatter protections, or residency grace periods under state law. Everything is airtight, Evelyn, Arthur confirmed, sliding the finalized purchase agreement across his mahogany desk. The wire transfer for the full market value cleared an hour ago. The buyers take formal ownership in 48 hours, and they've already scheduled full-scale structural fumigation and code demolitions starting Monday morning. I signed the final deed transfer without a single shred of remorse. Megan thought she had stolen my sanctuary, but she had merely locked herself inside a demolition zone. Over the weekend, Megan treated my house like a grand prize she had won fair and square. She flooded her social media with photos of extravagant barbecue parties by the backyard pool, captioning one smug selfie with Greg, "Out with the old energy, in with a true family." They were convinced I was cowering in some cheap motel, utterly defeated. But the cracks in their fantasy appeared by Sunday afternoon. From my phone at a comfortable beachside resort, I opened the smart home app and remotely severed the luxury services. The high-speed internet went dark first. Then the smart thermostat locked at 64 degrees, followed by the water heater shutting down entirely. Megan called me 8 times in a frenzy, leaving venomous voicemails demanding I fix the utilities and unlock the master bedroom safe. When I didn't reply, Greg assured her that none of it mattered. He told her that since their belongings were inside, they could legally claim 30-day squatter protections and drag out any eviction for months. They poured more drinks, completely oblivious that the clock on their arrogance was running out. At 8 o'clock sharp on Monday morning, Megan's illusion of control shattered into pieces. 2 heavy commercial demolition trucks pulled up to the curb, flanked by 2 marked sheriff cruisers and a team of hazardous material contractors in full protective gear. When the deputies pounded on the front door, Megan answered in her bathrobe, shrieking that they were trespassing on private family property. The lead officer didn't blink. He handed her a certified emergency trespass warrant alongside the new commercial deed of sale. Panicking, Megan put me on speakerphone with the deputies standing right in front of her. "Evelyn, tell these people to leave right now," she screamed, her voice cracking with pure terror. "You can't do this to me and my kids. We have tenant rights." "You aren't tenants, Megan," I said calmly through the speaker. "You signed a guest waiver forfeiting every squatter protection under state law. I sold the property for cash, and the new owners are fumigating the entire structure in 20 minutes. Greg grabbed the phone, yelling threats about suing me for fraud, but Arthur's voice cut through the line from beside me. He informed Greg that the sale audit had uncovered the stolen funds he had tried to hide, and an immediate court lien had already frozen his personal assets and impounded his luxury car parked in the driveway. Within minutes, the deputies escorted Megan, Greg, and the crying kids off the property, forcing them to watch from the sidewalk as yellow hazmat tape sealed the front gate shut. The aftermath was swift and merciless for both of them. Stripped of the house and with nowhere else to go, Megan had to swallow her pride and beg our parents to take her in. She ended up crammed into their damp, unfinished basement with 3 unruly kids and piles of garbage bags holding their clothes. When she tried to rally the extended family to paint me as a villain, my parents showed everyone the signed waiver and the bank statements proving her conspiracy with Greg. The family's sympathy dried up instantly, leaving her completely isolated. Greg's situation was even worse. The forensic audit triggered by the fast cash sale uncovered multiple forged loan signatures tied to our marital debts. With his luxury sedan impounded and his accounts frozen by court order, his new girlfriend abandoned him within days. He now spends his evenings juggling collection notices and working double shifts at a local auto shop to avoid wage garnishment. Meanwhile, 300 miles away, I closed on a sunlit, modern townhouse overlooking the coast, entirely debt-free. For the first time in years, I was surrounded by peace, completely unburdened by toxic ties. Looking back, losing that house was the best thing that ever happened to me. I learned that shared blood does not guarantee loyalty, and stepping back isn't the same as giving up. Sometimes, the smartest way to win a fight is to hand toxic people the very rope they intend to trap you with, and simply watch them tie their own knots. Now, I want to hear from you. Would you have sold the house out from under your own sister? Or did I take my revenge too far? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button, subscribe to BT Revenge Tales, and check out the 2 revenge stories on your screen right now. Thank you for watching.